Ayakwe, Naknamalita, and this is my channel, The Midnight Librarian. Today I will be going over my 2022 goals. We have some wonky lighting going on today, clouds going on, so I don't trust the natural light at all. Plus it's getting darker earlier than I expected. It's only like 4:40 and I feel like I need to turn on a light. I did turn on a light, but now we're getting some weird reflection action, so I apologize. I'll keep looking this way. So in 2020, I did a 2021 goals video that I will link up in the cards as well as down in the description down below. After reviewing it, I don't really know what I thought goals were. I don't know. It just felt very loose. My original idea was to kind of just go over, kind of watch it together. But when I originally filmed the video for that, I was just kind of like, it's a lot of really rambly and basically me trying to explain myself. But basically my goals were to read more tomes, finish more series, and I didn't really have much of anything in terms of channel goals. I thought that reaching 500 subscribers by December would be awesome. That's basically it. Not to deter you from watching that video if you would like to watch it. So I won't go over my 2021 goals too much in here. Basically, I'll just do a brief overview about what my plans were and how they changed for this year. A couple of them were fairly specific in terms of reading more tomes. I also had some others of like do the Buzzwordathon and reading Indigenous authored books. Those I will get into more specifics come my 2021 stats, so keep an eye out for that if you're interested. But ultimately for this video, what I'm more concerned is with like the overall goals, that I meet them, as well as what are my plans for next year. So with tomes, I know I didn't reach that goal. My whole idea was to read like one tome a month. That was not the case at all. I know that right off the bat. I will know specifics once I do my 2021 stats. The same with Indigenous authored books as well as my nonfiction. So I can tell you right now that based off the last time I saw my stats, nonfiction was 28% of what I read in 2021. So there's that. We will also get into my goal of reading 45, my Goodreads goal of reading 45 books. I can tell you now that's already been done and has been done. I'm up to 92 books right now. We'll see how much more I pass that toward when we get into my 2021 reading stats. So another goal that I had, I kept saying that YouTube was not a main priority. It was going to be fun. I knew that BookTube wasn't going to ever be like my full-time job. It's not going to be something that I know that I can get monetized with, just because I know that I don't take BookTube seriously, let alone YouTube. So that still remains true, though I gave a loose goal of like, if I hit 500 subscribers by December, that'd be cool. Yeah, I only hit like 300 not that long ago, which I'm still happy about. Thank you so much for your support. The fact that I've reached that many people and that many people are interested in my content, would not have thought. I would like to push that a little further. I would like to get a little more serious about it. So for reading goals for 2022, I'm keeping my Goodreads reading goal at 45. Not so much in terms of because I want to read more tomes, but because I want to read a lot of things. But ultimately, these past couple years have been nuts. Like, don't plan anything nuts because it's going to change. And I feel like 45 books is a manageable amount of books where if I do get into a reading slump like I did several times this year, I don't have that pressure of I need to read right now. Will that ultimately change No, I surpassed that this year. However, like in the past, 52 books has been a stretch for me to reach. I would say that this year is a bit of a fluke, but at the same time, I also found a love for audiobooks more than usual. I liked audiobooks before, but I heavily depended on them this year. Will that happen in 2022? Who knows? Maybe. Who's to say? But I will keep it at 45 books. If I surpass that, awesome. I may have a soft goal of a stretch goal of sorts. So like this year, because I passed 45 books and it looked manageable to be able to reach 100, my soft goal or stretch goal is 100 books. We'll see if I get there. At this point, I'm not too sure. So it's like shifting it slightly to 95. And 95 I'd be happy with too. So other reading goals, I would like to catch up on my graphic novels. I do have quite a bit in terms of my graphic book collection. You can't see them in here. They're not in here. They're in another room. And ultimately, I just want to get more into it and want to reread some of the ones that I have. I want to be able to catch up on some of them and see ultimately where they are, get caught up to the current up-to-date volumes of some of them. I know Monstrous is one, Saga. I think that I like had this in another complete series type deal. I just want to get caught up on my graphic novels as well as explore graphic novels. I recently refound. I knew it's here. I knew it has been here, but it's always kind of out of the way, so I don't go to it very often. But it's called North Coast Role Playing, which is essentially a comic book store that also sells like board games and dragons, as well as like a bunch of others. They have a great collection. I went there recently to get some gifts and just fell in love and couldn't help but like get a couple for myself, but also like make a mental note of like come back here more often, because I want to be able to explore more graphic novels outside of like the superhero genre. I still want to read tomes. I'm just not making it like necessarily a priority. I'm very much a mood reader. I have a hard time following my TBRs, and I'll just pick up what I feel I'm interested in at the time. If that happens to be a tome, great. If it happens to be a graphic novel, fantastic. Whatever. Basically, I just want to read. I just want to read. Finish series. So I do have a lot of series I need to finish. That was a goal for 2021. I finished one series in 2021, and I will also link my series I need to finish video from this last year up in the cards, as well as down in the description down below, because I go over that as well. And I don't think I finished anything that was on that list whatsoever. The one series I have finished so far is the Thema Style series, which I have recently an unexpected vlog I put up not too long ago. I would like to finish more series. I hope to finish one more before the year is out, but I'm not holding my breath. So I would ultimately like to kind of wrap things up. Let's see. I would also like to read more adaptations. This will link into another goal for my YouTube goals. Would like to continue reading Indigenous authors, would like to continue reading nonfiction. I don't think I need to read any more nonfiction because it's so close to being just a third of what I read, which I enjoy, and I think that's just a good amount. So, as well as complete year-long challenges. So for reading, it would be like the Buzzword-a-thon. Kayla from Booksandlala recently released her 2022 list of buzzwords and themes for a type of reading challenge, or for Goodreads, as well as Storygraph, to kind of help. And like I use it in particular to help me be able to read some of my backlist items. When she originally posted it for 2022, I had in my mind that I wasn't going to do this again for 2022. I did it partially for 2021. For the most part, I'm pretty sure I'm able to fulfill all the buzzwords for 2021. If I necessarily read them for that month, probably not. I think I kind of fell off that in about September, October, because I had other things in mind and nothing that I had would fit those buzzwords. But some of these words for 2022 I'm really enjoying, and so far they're bringing up some of my backlist titles that have been on my TBR for a while, so I think I may it feels like I may continue that for 2022 as well. And then another year-long challenge that I hope to do, whether it's per month or bi-monthly, we'll see. But basically, this ties into my content goals or YouTube goals, is that I have this idea of I've been practicing vlogs and have been enjoying how I do them. I would like to start doing themed vlogs, and with that, themed reading. How this will work with my mood reading, I have no clue. But basically, I found that within my some of my collections, there's more to a topic that I would like to expand on. So I have, for instance, this is kind of a sneak peek for January. I have 4 books that all have to do with Little Red Riding Hood, whether they're retellings. I even have a nonfiction on Little Red Riding Hood. And so I want to read those 4 books and kind of vlog my experience throughout all of them, and like just kind of like word vomit to you what my thoughts were on Little Red Riding Hood, and then do something with that that also ties into content that I would like to do more of in terms of art. So whether that is doing an illustration of my own interpretation of Little Red Riding Hood, I even thought about like trying to create my own Little Red Riding Hood cape. Just something like that. That's something I have in mind. So there's a sneak peek about that. And that's kind of where like reading adaptations kind of comes into in terms of creating content. Because ultimately I would like to continue to do reviews. I would like to do more of them, whether that's on singular books, and I kind of focus more on Indigenous authored books. This year there's a couple of like mystery thrillers that I threw in there. I think I ended up doing a full review for Aiden Thomas's Lost in the Neverwoods. But basically I would like to continue doing reviews in general. I don't mind doing reviews for Indigenous authors, but I know that I don't want to get stuck in that. I don't want you coming to me thinking that I'm just gonna do Indigenous reviews. I am more than just Indigenous. I am an artist. I work in a library. I love food. There's so many things. So like there's other people I like listening to. There's other authors I like learning stories from. Not to say that I don't like reviewing Indigenous authors. I just want to be able to do more, and I think that's how the mystery thriller and the Aiden Thomas got in there. So ultimately, I'd like to like mix it up just a little bit more, but I would like to continue doing Indigenous authored reviews for Indigenous authored books as well, because I don't think that's one thing too. I don't think they get enough hype. So, but at the same time, I shouldn't be the only one hyping them. So, but that's where the reading book to movie adaptations comes in too. I do have some backlist books that I know have movie adaptations or TV adaptations or whatever, and I would like to watch them because I am that weirdo that likes to watch the adaptation before reading the book. Otherwise, I am just scrutinizing every choice the director ever made about that movie, and I cannot enjoy it unless there's been a good amount of time that has passed between reading the book and watching the movie. So yeah, that's one thing, another little content bit that I would like to do for my YouTube channel. I want to up the art content. How? I'm not unsure yet. I know that I tried doing bullet journal stuff. I think that lasted 2 months for 2021. Ultimately, I've been in a weird funk. I don't want to pressure myself into for sure making art content for you, but I would like to at least like, I don't know, even if it's just like a little montage of just me doodling every now and then, just to stay in practice, because ultimately art is my passion. But I would ultimately I like sharing it as well, and so I would eventually would like to share it back. Right now I'm feeling great. I'm feeling like I want to share my art. I want to do art, and I want to share it with you. Whether or not that same feeling is there tomorrow, next week, next year, or 6 months from now. Who knows? So bear with me. Let's see. Would also like to do series reviews. I talked about that. I do want to finish more series so I can do series reviews. I would also like to start doing recommendation videos. I kind of played with that this last year, but ultimately, like, I filmed it and never posted it. So we'll see if I end up doing it again or if I just post something from last year. I want to do more like themed recommendations. I think I'm finally getting into that headspace, because like before I felt like I haven't read enough books to be able to like recommend anything, but now I feel like I'm getting enough experience under my belt to be able to go, yeah, okay, like let's recommend some things to you. So who knows? Okay, and then 2 big things that I would really like to do in terms of my channel specifically is 1, hit 1K by next year. I know that's still relatively low, but I still would still be happy with it. Because that sounds amazing. Not sure what I have to do, so I ultimately have to read up on how to do YouTube, which you would think I would know how to do, but I don't. Like I said, I get into, much like my art, I kind of get into a mood when it comes to communication. You might notice that if you comment and it takes me several weeks to reply back, I just get into a weird funk, and I'm trying to break out of it. So I apologize for like delay in replies to comments or anything like that, but it's like the thought of having to reply is so exhausting. It's not particularly just with comments or you. I do that with emails and text messages as well. It sounds exhausting. So there's occasional days like today where I reply to everything at like right after the minute. Which I'm glad I'm able to do that, but it makes it so that it stacks up, and I think it has that overwhelming feeling. So I'm gonna try to get better at that, but ultimately what I would like to do is hit 1K this year. Let's try to do that. And the second one of being like the big one is I would like to co-host or collab or sprint with somebody. I have a couple of friends who do booktube. I would consider friends. It's one of those things that just like, I consider you a friend. Do you consider me a friend? Should I call you more of acquaintance? Because we haven't met in real life. How does this work? How does online friendships work? So, but ultimately, I would like to do some kind of co-host readathon or like collab somehow, or just even like joining into a sprint that's not just me like creeping in the chats. I would like to do that at some point this year, at least once. Like I said, being social is not always my forte, but I would like to try. So, and then my one little Instagram goal, if you don't know, I have an Instagram. I don't think I am terrible at marketing myself. Hence why my mom markets my artwork for me. But I do have an Instagram. I am active on it. I'm just not as active as I would like to be. Like, I try to post something every other week. I would like to do more with that. To like at least 1 post a week. So that's more of that kind of creativity, because ultimately it's fun taking photos and the captions really aren't that hard, but I overthink everything. And then just something simple. Hopefully I'll keep up with my reading journal. So I think that was part of it with 2021 was that my 2021 bullet journal was everything. It was my personal life with my reading life with my professional life, and I can't do that. It's too much for this, and it's too much of me trying to get in there. I tend to like to illustrate everything myself. This year I'm trying to back away from that. I have some washi tape, I have a printer. Hopefully I can do that thing again where I show you my bullet journal setup each month, but I'm not promising anything. Ultimately what I would like to do is just keep up with my reading journal of just like, this is the book that I read this month. What are the content warnings? So those are my goals. Yeah, let me know your thoughts down in the description down below, or down in the comments down below. What are some of your goals for 2022? They don't have to be book related. I think my non-booktube book reading related goal for 2022 is I want to get back in baking. I miss it. I used to do it all the time and I don't anymore. So that's something I would like to do. If you have yet to do so, hit the like button. Be sure to hit the subscribe and hit the little bell icon to get notified when I post more content. Yeah, that's one last goal. I hope to be able, I've been doing it kind of sort of this like little bit of the year, end of the year, is to upload consistently, and hopefully I can get that down in 2022, that I can say I'll see you Sunday or see you Thursday, because for some reason those are the 2 days that I have been uploading. So hopefully we'll see. So yeah, I'll hope you enjoy whatever you're reading wherever you are, and I will see you in my next video very soon. Ciao.